Hello.
Hello.
Oh, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'll just
Sort this
noise out.
Got two microphones going.
Turn that off, turn that on to mute. Hopefully then we shall stop making silly
You won't be
noises.
echoing anymore.
No.
Well done. Are you starting to catch up with yourself? No. The look said it all, Helen.
Slowly, and then I've just sat here doing some cards for the tag card class. So I'd got two. I was just nearly finished my third, and I was doing some splattering. So not only have I splattered on the card that I was making, I've splattered on the other two I've already made. So they may just be sent out with pictures saying, please excuse the
splatters, but they got in the
ignore
way.
the purple splatters on those photos. You don't need to purple splatter those as well. It's
right,
just
then.
like, oh, for goodness sake, I've just splattered that everywhere.
You couldn't write it, could you?
Oh, dear. Never mind. How are you? All right?
Yes, I'm fine. Yeah.
Good.
Up at Amy's, so I'm at home today.
Excellent.
Then I think if she wants me, I'll be up there tomorrow. We shall see. She might feel okay. Depends how little and sleeping. I haven't heard about last night, so we shall see.
No, doing all right though.
He's putting a stair gate up to stop the dog going up.
Oh yes, yeah. He was sort of in the throes of fixing stair gates last week.
Yes. Well, one of them had because it's so small. One of them has learnt to go up the stairs, but she won't come down.
No.
Which is probably a good idea because that's the one that's had two spinal surgeries already.
Yes, yeah, probably not a good idea to be running up and down stairs.
Not really.
That's it. Are you all right, Sally?
Yes, fine, thank you. You?
Good, yes, thank you.
Hello, ladies.
Feeling better, Helen?
Certainly better than I was, yeah. I have my moments, yeah, but yeah, certainly better.
Good.
Yeah. Yes. Who are we waiting for? Jackie and Carol. Yeah. Are you okay, Beryl?
Yes, thank you.
Good.
Look, just looking to see what's in the bag.
Oh, that's okay.
Oh, I love opening bags.
Yes, this afternoon, who knows where it will take us, really. I will do you some sort of notes to remind you to put in your technique files and things. That's not quite got done just yet.
Fine.
As you've come to expect, we'll be flying a bit by the seat of our pants. But
I love seat of the pants. It's the best way to travel.
It's half the excitement, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah. I've got a list of
things. Magic carpet, I think.
Yeah, I've got a list of things. It's quite dark, isn't it? I don't know if I'm going to need to put lights on or not. We'll see how we go. Yeah.
I've had to pull my curtain across because otherwise I get too hot.
Have you got the sun shining in? Well, it shines in the front, but yeah, not out the back here. That's first thing in the morning. We get it out here. So by now the sun's gone round, so it's quite shady in here.
It's nice working in there. You'll be roasting.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Even in the winter it gets hot.
Oh, when the sun's shining through the window, it's lovely, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what sort of stamping and die cutting we're going to need.
I think it may even be that, you sort of have a bit of a go and wait and do something a bit more constructive later.
I have got a whole bag. When we had when that set first came out, the Forest or Forever Fern set.
Yeah.
I've got a whole bag here of different colours that I stamped.
Okay. So, you might better work with those.
Use any of those today. You never know.
I've punched out some whales. That's what I've done. I've just punched out some whales out of my paper.
Bonnie, what does your T-shirt say?
I don't want to. I don't have to. You can't make me. I'm retired. It's actually my husband because I'm not quite there yet. He's just reached 60, but he's been medically retired since he was in his 40s, late 40s.
Yeah.
So that's his T-shirt. But I thought I'm going to steal that one today.
Yeah, that'll do. We won't make you do anything you don't want.
Well, it's only what I want to, you say. So that's fine.
Yes.
Hello.
She's here. Hello.
Here I are.
Hi, Jackie.
Took me ages
Did
because
it?
iPads are stupid. Yeah.
Oh, well, I had a
a
minor panic. No, it wasn't a minor panic. I had a major panic. I was moving my laptop to get it round into this position, dropped it from quite a height straight down.
Oh.
It's like, no. Please work, please work, please work, please work, because it switched itself off
Well-
as well. Please come back on. Please come back on.
But it has, so you're fine. Thank God for that, she said.
Yes. Yeah. Oh,
I don't need to
Jackie.
start with a lurgy, Jackie.
No, you're not
No,
lurgy.
no,
Fine.
I'm fine.
Good.
I'm fine. No,
It's
it's
job
just.
for getting John out the house yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I know. Very exciting.
Yes.
He said you were a cheeky cow, by the way.
Yeah, I thought you might do. Bless him. He's lovely.
I think that means he loves you, Bonnie.
It does, yes. I think he's missing us.
Yeah.
I think so. I think you're probably right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, have you found your sequins?
Have you got your sequins? Yep. You got some sequins.
Mm.
Yes.
Everyone's got some sequins.
Are there sequins for this class?
Yeah. Yes.
I'll go
Yeah.
get
I
them.
said it's, as you've come to know and expect, Jackie, we are flying by the seat of our pants just slightly. I have a list of the sort of thing we might play with, and sequins might come into one of those things.
That's fine.
Yeah.
We shall get there.
Yeah,
We'll
the
work
main
our way
idea
through.
is we've got this whole pile of stuff, and what do we do with it?
Yeah.
What are the differences, and why do we want it? Yeah.
What have I done with them? Oh, there's a question.
Oh, she's gone again.
I have. I've put them somewhere.
Oh, put them somewhere safe.
They were part of this. Here we are.
Got them.
Bonnie,
Well,
I
let's
think our
see.
order's coming today,
Ooh, nice.
Ooh.
so we'll have to meet up.
Have your trees. Where are they? There we are.
Oh,
trees.
bless your heart. Thank you.
Well, you've got half a tag class. I was just saying, here's Carol. I was just saying to Vonnie, confession time. I'm halfway through your tag class. I'd got 2 cards completely done. The third one I was getting on quite nicely, but I decided I was going to put some splatters on it. So I've splattered that bit of card, and I've splattered the 2 I'd already made. So I think I'm just going to photograph them anyway, and the instructions will just say, please ignore the purple
The splatters.
Yeah.
Absolutely. we can do that.
Those are optional.
Teach just got a little bit carried away here.
It's like I sat here splattering, and I looked up and I thought, oh, for goodness sake, just splattered those.
That was very
2 as
polite, Helen.
well. Yeah, it wasn't that quite polite what went on in my head. I could have.
I'll bet.
No.
For the tag buffet, I didn't
Yes.
actually get the other stuff. I just got the stamp set.
That's
Is
all
that
you
a
need.
problem?
No,
Oh, that's all right then.
all you need.
That's
I
fine.
so the cards and things I'm making with the stamp set, I'm going to
Okay.
give you. I brought a tag kit, and I've divided it up between us, so you will get 6 tags to make as well.
Ooh.
Thank you. Well, I have got tag dies, you see, so I thought,
Yeah.
well, I can get ahead of the
Yeah.
game and cut some tag dies. But no,
Yeah.
that's brilliant.
No,
Thank
that's
you.
fine. So yeah, you're
Bit
going to get
dangerous.
one of each of the tags out of the kit, and then there'll be 5 cards, 2 each.
then.
2 of each.
Okay, fabulous.
Oh, actually, that's good. It's only 5, isn't it? I need to make. I was thinking I've got to do 6.
Oh,
So
well,
I'm-
there you
I'm
go.
over halfway. Oh, oh yes,
Better.
Bonnie, I'm on a roll.
You are on a roll.
That's cheered you up.
It has, yeah.
Hi, Carol.
Are you right, Carol? Are you catching up with yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I went shopping, got all my shopping, so
Excellent.
that's
Excellent.
done.
Right. So, how to play with foam adhesives. So, hopefully, you've all got quite a little pile of different foam adhesives. Obviously, they're all really basically the same foam product. It just has depended how it's all been cut up and presented to you. And the reason that they cut them up in different ways and present them in different ways to you is because we could do different things with them. Some shapes and things are more useful than other shapes and things for different things. So you should have a little sheet of normal dimensionals, which I'm sure you've probably all got anyway, but you've now got an extra sheet. So these are the original and best and first and loveliest of the dimensionals. And obviously the stamping up ones are all, they are hexagonal, aren't they? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, they're not hexagonal.
Yes, they are.
They're 6-sided.
6-sided, yes.
Yes. Which is, I don't know, brain's gone dead.
Sexagonal?
So they, yeah. There we go. Thank you. See,
Jackie, behave
look
yourself.
straight to Sally. What's a 6-sided shape, Sally? So,
Hexagonal, yeah.
So hexagonals are 5-sided, those are 6. And then obviously you've got the little ones that they brought out a couple of years ago, incredibly useful. And sometimes, you know, if you've got a big bit that you want to stick down, then the big ones are useful. If you've got those little tiny bits, then these mini dimensionals are really useful. And don't ever, I have in the past had to, you know, rescue these from bins at classes. Don't ever throw away your outside bits. Don't think just because your little bits in the middle have gone. I saw somebody describe those as bones the other day. Bones of your dimensionals. What a great description. But they're so useful because if you just want little slithers, you can cut little slithers. If you want a big long chunk, you can cut long chunks. They're really useful, those outside edges. So make sure that you hang on and don't ever throw your sheet away until it is completely and utterly empty and there isn't anything else left on it. So that's your normal standard dimensionals that we know and love. And then last year they brought out black ones. I sometimes forget that I've got these, but actually if you are doing any dark projects, it is amazing how much difference it makes using a black dimensional. Because if you've got a dark card base and a dark topper on it, that little white bit, did you? Yeah, that little white bit at the back of your card can really show up. So, you know, if somebody happens to look down the side of it, you've got like this funny white mark. So the black ones are really lovely for your dark projects, and that's what they've been bought out for, really. There isn't any other really magic solution other than they're really useful for your dark projects. So we have got some black card. We might have a go at making something with a black card just to look at the difference, really, and we'll have a look at that in a minute. And then they brought out quite a few years ago these long strips. Now these strips are a slightly thicker width than these. I'm not sure what the millimeters on there are. It might tell us if I look, does it?
That one's 0.5 centimetre, isn't it?
Yeah. I suppose
No.
Yeah, there'll be millimeters probably, but they are quite a bit deeper, probably 2 or 3
about 4
times.
millimeters.
Yeah, and I should think these are probably 1. So yeah, quite a bit difference in the thickness of those. Now these are really, really useful for things like shaker cards, cards where you're having bits sliding in and out, magic slider cards, all sorts of things like that. These are really, really useful, and we'll be looking at those in a bit more detail. And then in the last annual catalogue, they brought out these solid sheets. You should have, I think you've got about 1.5 of these. So you've got a solid sheet of dimensional there. So it just is the same stuff, the same foam adhesive. It just is in one solid sheet. And I see people using these, sort of cutting these up and using them almost instead of these, which I haven't done. I've gone down the route of using them for specific things, but they're really useful. So we're going to be having a look at those as well. So as well as that in your kit, you should have had a bit of DSP, a little bit of DSP. You should have had a piece of acetate that was wrapped up in some funny sticky stuff, which Carol's intrigued to know what that is. Some of you will know what that is, and some of you will have played with it before and probably know where that is going. But this is called Press and Seal, and we'll have a look at that in a minute. So that is wrapped around your acetate, just because I didn't quite know what to do with it, and that worked. So you've got a bit of acetate and you've got some sequins. So I think that was everything you had in your kit, wasn't it?
Yep.
Okay, so
Now, Helen,
yes,
you know
yes,
that the black ones are for the dark projects.
Yep.
If you needed to, can you stamp a marker, or can you colour them?
I should think you'd probably be able to colour edges.
Yeah.
Hang on, I've got a you'd probably need something like a Sharpie or a stamping blend, probably, because the markers would probably just come off.
Right.
But yes, look, you could. Can you see that colour? In fact, let's come here now, and so yeah, so I should imagine that you could, but probably might be a bit of a fap if you were doing lots. Let's spotlight for everybody. There we go. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that would colour. So if you just wanted an odd one and you hadn't got a dark one.
Yeah.
But I would imagine that you'd probably be better off with something like a permanent marker. So either a stamping blend or a Sharpie or something like that.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about getting it on tops and bottoms because that's going to peel off anyway. But yeah, so that would work as well. But obviously having the black ones just
Really good.
takes that
Even-
faff
Even
away,
my
really.
pinky fingers.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. That's what we're here for. So yes, do ask questions, and you know, if we go off on a tangent, that's absolutely fine. This is about, at the end of the day, you all feeling as if, you know, you're going to use your bits and pieces to their best potential. So yeah, so dimensionals. So just with your basic dimensionals, obviously you're going to stick them on things. Don't ever be frightened that you can't pile them up. You can. If you need something to be higher, stick two on top of each other. If you've got something with loads and loads of dimensionals on the back in order to give it the height and stability on your project, you don't necessarily have to peel all your backs off. Just peel your backs off every other one, because that will be enough to stick it down and still give you that height. So if you've got big projects that you've got lots and lots of dimensionals on, you know, and you're thinking, oh, it's going to take me an hour just to get the backs off these, you don't necessarily have to take the backs off of all of them. So that's another tip. Things like I'm trying to think what card I did the other day. So it may be that you just want to add a bit of extra height in the middle of something. So particularly if you're doing something like a banner on a project, it might be that you'll have one dimensional each end, but perhaps two in the middle, just to give it that bit of extra curve and height. If you've curved yourself a banner, you know, use it, stack them up and, you know, just lift edges of things. It may be that you've got something like the peony dies. For those of you that have got the peony dies, if you're building that 3D peony, tuck a little dimensional under your layers of your peonies, and that will just give it even more of a three-dimensional feel to it, because you're just using them as building blocks. So not just for sticking things directly down, obviously there to give you height. And it's amazing what difference putting one layer on a layer of dimensionals can make. It gives the card a whole different 3D feel to it. So if you're feeling that a card is looking a bit flat, then perhaps just lift one layer up on some dimensionals, and it's amazing what difference that can make. So your dimensionals, absolutely, you know, a mainstay of our craft rooms, and we all use them often. And we will have a look at a bit of black card. Let's get a bit of black card out. And let me just score it in half. I need just to find, I must get another blade out for mine. Did you find your blades, Sally?
Yes, thank you very much.
Good, that's okay. Right, let's find one of my little whales. Let's stick one of our little whales on here. So if I was to put some white dimensionals on him and stick one on, straight on, it makes no difference. It's if that's quite a way in, but if that was on the edge, it's when you sort of look down there and see those white dimensionals. But if we take a black dimensional, and that in, they sort of almost disappear. So they are really useful when you're doing your dark projects, particularly on your black card. So useful just to have a pack in the cupboard, and they work exactly the same as the white ones. It's just that they're black. So that's our black dimensionals. I'll leave those two little whales on there. I'll perhaps do something with them at some point. But one of the main things that we use all of these different projects for, particularly when we get away from just the ordinary dimensionals, is when we're doing our fancy cards, and particularly ones that have got sort of mechanics to them almost, whether it's bits that slide, bits that shake, bits that roll, all of those sorts of things. That's when our foam is going to come into its own. So we've got various cards. We've got things like shaker cards. So obviously we've got some acetate and some sequins. So we'll have a look at a shaker card in a minute, and there's a couple of different ways that you can do shaker cards with your foam. There's things like, as I say, cards that have sliders, cards that penny spinners that go round and round, magic sliders, all of those sorts of things that you need to make tracks for. You need to have a sort of built up track for. Those are where these come in really useful, and especially your strips. And then things like there was a phase a couple of years ago of making cards with this is where my brain is going to go completely dead, with sort of cutting out letters and building up the letters so they popped out. And so we did that by building up lots of layers. We'd perhaps cut out 2 or 3 layers of cards, stick them on top of each other, everything else. These have been a game changer in that, and we'll have a look at that in a minute, which is one reason why I said alphabet dies. So let's have a play. Let's have a play with some fancy fold cards. And if you want to play along, then feel free. If you think to yourself, no, I'm just going to watch, I'm going to sit here with a cup of tea, let Helen witter, and I'll have a go later, that is also equally fine. But one of the first things I think we'll do is we'll have a play with some press and seal, because this is the one that's probably going to take us the longest. And I'm just going to cut one of my bits of thick whisper white. I'm going to cut it to 9.9 centimetres, just because that'll give me a nice little square card, and you can get 3 of those out of a piece of
9.9, yeah?
9.9. And if you cut it the other way, 19.8, and then score that at 9.9, you get a little 9.9 square card that will fit nicely into, it's just under 4 inches, so it will fit nicely into a 4-inch envelope. But you can get 3 of those down the length of an A4 card, so quite a nice little size card to play with. And I'm also going to cut, I've got a bit of just ordinary whisper white here somewhere, yep. And I'm going to cut that to, oh, I think I'll make it 9.5. Now, this is a floating card. I don't know if you've ever done one of these floating cards. And I have, as I say, already cut lots of little whales out. Now, you can use anything, butterflies, flowers, whatever you like, really. It's just that I knew I'd got this paper and I knew I'd got these little whales, and that would work quite nicely. So what I'm going to do is I am going to position these whales on my little square of white card, decide how I want to lay them out. So that
How big has the square got to be?
Mine is 9.9. Notice it's 9.5. Sorry, the card is 9.9. This is 9.5, just so that it's that bit smaller. And I'm just going to have my whales swimming around on my card. Now at this stage, oh, that's got purple splatters on as well. I've obviously splattered those with my purple paint as well.
Oh, Helen, only
You
you
did
can
have
do it.
fun, didn't you?
Did have fun
got
with that
carried
purple. I
away.
did get carried away. I could possibly do with another whale there. I've got my paper. That's because I pinched one. In fact, I pinched two.
You did pinch 2. You're quite right.
But I've got more.
What other colour have I got? It would fit to that.
So say this could be anything. You can do these with what you like. And if you decide that you like floating frame cards, there is something coming up in the new catalogue that you might really like, because it makes these very much easier.
Ooh,
And I'll show you that in a minute. So you can have these hanging off the edge of your bit of card. They don't have to be all fitting on.
oh, she's gone.
Like that, I think. Right. So when you've decided what you want on your bit of card and where you want them laying around, what you're going to do is you're going to take this sticky stuff. Now, you're not going to need necessarily all of that sticky stuff I gave you. You've probably got twice as much sticky stuff there as you want. So you can, if you like, sort of cut it in half or whatever, just so that you've got a bit that's going to fit over there. Now, what you might want to do before you stick it down, we're going to lay it over the top of there. What you might want to do is just lay it on your jumper or your trousers or something first, just to sort of take a little bit of the tacky off. It's not ever so sticky, but it is just mildly tacky. And what we're going to do is we're going to lay that over the top of our shapes that we've put onto our card like this. And then we should be able to pick those up, take that card away, and it will hold them in place for us. Now, press and seal is another of those things, a bit like wax paper, that I think you can go into the supermarkets in the US and get it off of the supermarket shelves. So the idea is that if you've got it, that you can use it to, you know, cover bowls, a bit like cling film. It's sort of like a sort of slightly thicker reusable cling film. But for us here, if you want press and seal, you do have to get it off of places like Amazon. They might do it now in craft shops. I don't know if there's been enough of them being used.
They might have it in Coleman's. I can't remember.
Yeah, if there's
I've
been
never
enough.
seen it.
No, if there's enough crafters that use it, then you know they'll suddenly start to use it. Now, for this, we are going to put lots of dimensionals on the back. But before we do that, there's another little top tip that you may have seen before, and it isn't my top tip. And in order to do this top tip, I need to find my black pen that I had just now, so it's not going to be far away. Doesn't have to be a black pen, it can be any colour pen. But I've got it all ready to go, and I've just used it. So where are you? Oh, there it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use mini dimensionals because I need to put quite a lot of dimensionals on the back of here because we do want it to be well supported. We don't want it sort of bowing in at any point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to take my dimensionals and I'm just going to draw a line down the middle of these dimensionals. And the reason that I'm doing that is because in a minute, once they're all sitting on the back of those whales, it's really quite difficult sometimes to know which ones you've taken the backs off of and which ones you haven't. So now that they've all got a line down the middle of them, you're going to know which ones you've taken the backs off and which ones you haven't, because the ones without the backs are going to have lost their line. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put mini dimensionals all over here.
So the press and seal is on the table.
So you've laid your bits out on your card. You've arranged them on the card. Then you've laid your press and seal over the top of it, given it a bit of a rub, and then picked it up and turned it over. So now you've got sort of the underside of whatever it is that you're going to stick on. And that's where you're going to put your dimensionals. Now I know that this is
use only then, this stuff.
you can use it more than once, but we are going to die cut through it in a minute. So that tends to put a hole in it. Although if you line it up, you could use, no reason why you can't use it again. So you can see, whereas I'm putting all these on here, you can see all those nice stripes in the back of them. So I'm going to be able to see instantly which ones I've taken the backs off of and which ones have yet to be done. Now you could, with this, we could have sort of stuck the paper or stuck your stamped image onto a complete solid sheet before you die cut it, and then it would have complete foam all over the back if that's what you wanted to do.
When we did this at a class with Helen, she made us do 1,000,000 butterflies and colour them all in.
Yes.
Yep.
She was very mean.
Wasn't it beautiful when we'd finished?
It was beautiful.
I haven't given them away yet.
Haven't you?
No.
Definitely not.
You might definitely like what. I don't know whether you've seen what's coming up in the catalogue or whether you've twigged what its uses.
No, haven't.
I will show you in a minute.
Oh.
I think I know which one you might be talking about.
Right, I think that's enough dimensionals on there to cover where I need it to go with my card. So I'm going to take my backs off now. I have mixed success with using pokey tools for getting backs off. I don't know how many, well, that's working quite well. That one's not. Come off. Now, this is one of the things you get. The nice thing about this is it does take a little bit of time to do, but you do get 2 cards out of it. Off of that, I don't want you on that.
Ow.
Who's owing?
Oh, I just stuck myself in the arm with my pencil.
Ouch.
Anything to do?
It's very bright.
Never mind.
So did you ladies have did you have a walk at Harold yesterday or just a sit and a chat?
We just sat there, didn't we, Jack?
Yeah, we did. I did think perhaps we should go for a walk, and then I thought, nah.
And then,
it was
then
so
the
muddy
feeling-
though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
that's the trouble, isn't it?
The gym there, Jackie, you could have done a bit of rowing and all sorts of stuff.
Oh, I didn't see any boats on there. There were some particularly aggressive goslings that made a lady turn back with her dog and her babies and go another route.
Yes. She turned tail, didn't she?
She did. I don't
Bless her.
blame her, actually. They were looking very aggressive.
Perhaps they thought she had some food.
Well, yeah. Well, she had a dog, isn't it? So they don't like dogs. So, yeah. But,
They
Was it a bit of a
obviously,
awakening? You're minding your own business and a dog jumps in at you. It's,
yes, yeah. Swimming around, minding your own business. Right, so when we've got to the point where we've taken all the backs off of our little dimensionals, we're then going to, I'm going to lay this bit of cardstock back over the top. And hopefully, yes, that'll be about right. Do I need to keep that on to die cut it? I don't really, do I? So no, you don't need to die cut it. It will die
Well,
cut.
it depends with the
It
butterflies we had
depends.
to.
Yeah, we did. It just depends on, I'd probably get away with this one. But if you'd absolutely filled every gap in there, you'd probably want to keep that on just to keep it stable. In fact, I will leave it on to keep it stable. And then you can cut a shape out of the middle. It can be what you like. It can be, you could do a circle or a heart or a square, what you like. I'm going to get a circle, and it'll want to be a fairly small one, I should think, because that's only a fairly small bit of card. So I'm going to centre that up. That will centre quite nicely on that little owl in the middle. A little owl, whale.
Where'd you go?
Oh,
Okay,
dear.
they've changed a bit since I last saw an owl then.
Oh
Yeah.
dear.
You're going to have to take more water with it, Helen.
Yeah, but it is only water, honestly. That's all I've got. Perhaps I just need more water. Perhaps I'm dehydrated. Oh, just losing the plot, I think, completely and utterly.
You can join the rest of us mere mortals who are doing the same.
Absolutely.
Can't wait till the stupid lockdown's over again.
Yeah. Right, I'm going to run it backwards and forwards a couple of times. And with a bit of luck, that will have stuck to the pad. But we will also have a circle that's come out of the middle. Voila, just like that. So what I can do is I can peel off gently. You don't want to whip it off. You will have to sort of ease it off, and you might find that there may be little bits on the edge like that that has lost its dimensional. So I will need to put that back in place. I'm just going to ease this. Of there. I'll ease that off of there and find a little edge bit. I'm just going to snip a bit off that edge to sit on there. And stick that back on there. So now I've got that nice little circle that will sit on one card. And then if I lift this off, and obviously the bigger the bit of card and the more you've got on there, the more of a wow you're going to get with this. You do have to be careful, because if it can sometimes stick a little bit.
Especially if you've die cut, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
Which is
I've
why
more
you
of an
want
issue with my things having stuck to the plate.
yes, your dimensional share. I had that. Right, so I've eased that off. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my scissors and trim this round. Can't think what else we did. We did butterflies and we did something else, didn't we?
Didn't we do cacti? Oh, I know what. It was the lovely cheese planty
Yes, the
stamps and
tropical
dies.
yes ones. It was.
Yes. Gorgeous.
Yeah. So what we've got now is we have got two bits that are going to create cards. So we've got this one here with our floating whales. I nearly said owls again. We know we could put some.
You're a bit fixated on these owls, Helen.
Yeah,
Go in.
yeah. The flying owls, the swimming owls.
Do they like swimming? I wouldn't know.
Yeah. You could put some
Possibly
paper under
not.
there, but what's really nice is that then you can find yourself a nice big sentiment that you're going to pop in the middle of there, and you've got your sort of whales swimming around it. And then with this one, you can have your card front and perhaps some paper or whatever, and then this one becomes a topper in the middle. And obviously the bigger you or more intricate you do that, the more sort of stunning they are. So here's some little butterflies that are left from one that I made
One I prepared earlier.
the other day. So that is the center bit of one that I cut out the other day. And the way that I made that one is with this stamp set and die set that they've brought out, and they've called it Floating and a Fluttering. And they've called it that for a reason, because you've got this set of little butterflies here, and then you've got all the bits that are going to colour it in. So this is a new one that's coming out in the January to June catalogue. Then you've got your dies, including 2 dies like this, but when you cut them out those stamped images, these were just out of some paper, you get these. So obviously, very quickly, you can build up a whole big section with all of those beautifully coloured in butterflies in sort of minutes rather than hours.
Yeah.
So that is why it's called Floating and Fluttering. Obviously, these butterflies are beautiful anyway, and that you could use them just as a corner section or all of such things. But I have no doubt at all that the reason that they've developed this stamp set and matching dies is to make that whole process of creating floating cards like this. And they're really nice because you have got, you know, real depth about them. And if, you know, that I say that was just whales because I just punched out some whales quickly, but you could have lots and lots of little flowers, and you could have, so you could get a piece of designer series paper and sit in front of the telly and cut out lots of big flowers, small flowers, you know, little leaves, everything, and have them all, and then sort of arrange them all on your card. Then you stick your clear seal on the top, turn it over, and that's where you put all your dimensionals on your back. And as I say, then cut out your aperture in the middle so that you then stamp your greeting into. So if you go onto Pinterest and look up floating frame cards, you will no doubt see lots and lots of them. And that is how they are created. So normally you have to have, you can sometimes get away with normal cling film, but if you've got lots and lots laid out on it, you really want something that's going to hold them all in place, because if they start shifting around the minute that you move them, that would be really quite frustrating.
If I needed a few more in the middle of that.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Well, I could have done with some like little fishes and perhaps smaller whales and perhaps a jellyfish and things going on. So the more that you can build up your picture before you sort of die cut it, the better, the more effective they are. But that is just the general gist. But as I say, if you really, really like those cards, then the chances are you're really, really going to like that butterfly and die set that's coming. Because
I recommend that you don't use the punch for the reindeer, because when you punch it out, you just get heads.
Oh, okay.
And then I've just
then
got these
ears.
Got headless ones left.
Excellent.
And you see, they've all gone rough where I pulled the
The paper of, I had one of mine did catch, which is why you really want to try and get it as just slightly fluffied up, sort of pop it on a jumper or whatever, and just try and take some of the tacky off. I did have one that caught just there.
got that bit, yeah.
Yes, and it is sort of as you run it through the machine, because obviously then it really presses it down on the top, really.
Oh, there we are. One, I can't even see it. Where are we?
Look at that.
One.
Oh, is that with your
thing.
leaves? See, that worked really nicely, didn't it?
Yeah, needed another one in there somewhere.
Yeah.
But we could add something into the background.
Absolutely. But you can always go on and add something else. You can always go in and add something else, but it's
Bonnie?
oh, she's got something.
Oh, what?
She's got a box.
The
She's got
box?
Mr. Brown's been to her house.
Really? She said, I have to order something. Was there anything I could add in for you? Stupid question.
Well,
Yes, all
whenever.
right then.
When isn't there something? So yes. So fluttering dies, fluttering butterflies, ladies. When I first saw it, I thought, oh, more butterflies. And then I thought, actually, no, that's butterflies with a purpose, that is. So yeah, quite pretty.
Yeah,
So
that would have been a
that's-
nice one for the original butterflies where you had that whole swarm of them together,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But you'd be able to do all sorts of things with those. You'd be able to sort of watercolor them, or can do all sorts of things with the original butterflies before you then make them
Yeah.
up. Yeah. So that is a floating frame card. If you've never made one of those before, that's a very good use for lots of dimensionals, but you want to mark the back so that you know which ones you've taken off and which ones you haven't. Let's have a look at, let's have a think about shaker cards. I think what I'll do is I'm going to cut my my bit of cardstock into two more 9.9 by 19.8. That 19.8, it should now be 19.8 square, so it won't really matter which way I go. And we'll think of a couple of different ways we can use our foam tape to make shaker cards. Right, I'm going to take my bit of acetate when I find it.
Don't tell me you took all the stick and peel off.
It's here somewhere. There we go. There it is. And I'm going to cut it in half. So that is 15-ish centimeters. So I'm going to cut it at,
How much, sorry?
it's sort of about 14.9, 15 centimeters. I think it might be about 15 centimeters because I think it was just a 12 by 12 bit that I cut up. So about 7.5 centimeters, or cut it in half. So I just need to make sure that whatever my shaker is smaller than that. So that one there will do. So I'm going to cut myself another bit of Whisper White card somewhere that is 9.5 centimeters, I think. And I'm going to cut a hole in the middle of it. So I'm just using the layering circles. That circle is around about that big. It's around about sort of 7 centimeters diameter-ish. You could equally use a punch or whatever. What's that? So if you've got like a 2 3/4, 2.5 inch punch, that would.
The one that's in my to sell pile, you mean?
Oh, I've put my circle ones in the in my to keep. I've not got rid of those.
Very sensible.
Mm.
Oh, we are.
I've got about 4 boxes of stuff I do need to get rid of.
Oh, that's pretty.
But,
There's my
That's
middle
lovely.
up.
oh, that's lovely.
That shows very clearly.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Lovely.
Just put a sticker across the middle of some sort then.
Yeah.
Right, anyway, sorry, Helen.
No, that's fine. So I've just cut about 7 centimeters. You just want it to be smaller than your acetate, so that your acetate will stick around it. And I'm just going to stick my acetate on the back of my aperture, my hole. And actually, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that with 2 bits of card. So I'm going to get both bits to exactly the same place. So I'm going to cut another bit of Whisper White card at 9.5 centimeters. And cut another hole. stick a bit more acetate at the back of it. And then we'll look at the 2 ways that you can use your tape to do a shaker.
So what have you cut this in half, have you?
The acetate, yes, at around about 7.5
acetate.
centimetres, yeah. So that I've got enough to do 2 cards then. 2 little cards.
Cut a hole in both of them, yeah?
Yeah, so I've done exactly the same with both, and we'll look at 2 different ways you can. It's actually 3, but one's far too much like hard work. We'll reject that one straight out. Now, the one we're going to reject straight out is that we could go and take our large dimensionals, and we could build up a little circle of dimensionals all the way around the inside of that ring.
Yeah, right.
But you would have to absolutely make sure there was no gaps in them. Yeah, that's the one we're rejecting out of hand, because you know it's fraught with danger, and the chances are there would be a gap somewhere, and your sequins would end up escaping, and yeah, far too much.
You'd be very popular on the open pit around.
Yeah, far too much like hard work, and we don't want to be doing that. So we're going to take a strip. So I've got a strip of our sticky stuff, and I'm just going to take it just inside sort of that hole, so that it's there's just a bit of a border there, and I'm going to work that all the way around the edge of my circle. You know, it don't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle. It doesn't have to be exactly the same distance from the edge as it goes round. You're just creating an inner border. That's going to meet up? That's rather spectacular. When they do meet up, you don't want there to be any gaps. So if I did have to cut that, I'd have cut it so it was possibly a squidge longer than I needed it to be, and then sort of squashed it in just to make sure that there isn't any gaps, particularly if you have the mad idea of adding glitter to a shaker.
Everybody's favourite.
You want to make it really chunky glitter if you're going to go down that road at all, because the slightest little gap and that stuff is going to be out of there and all over the place. There were people that were using some of the domes and things with water and things in, weren't there? But I think they were using like silicone sealants, which is something else you could do. You could use like a silicone sealant if you wanted to. But we've used a strip, and that strip's gone quite nicely just around there and joined up. So now we've got a complete circle in there. So hopefully our sequins and things are not going to escape. Now you can, in an effort to try and stop any sequins sticking to the inside of that tape, just run a bit of talcum powder dipped in a something, or with a bit of cotton wool or something, or corn flour. But you don't want too much, because it's going to it'll spoil the front of your card, because it'll get all powdery. Right, let's put something behind this. I'm going to go for some of my pretty snowflake paper. We're
going to be seeing quite a lot of that over the next.
You are going to be seeing quite a lot of that. That's why it's here next to me.
I use that 2 whole sheets of houses yesterday in that trimming their town.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Die cutting the bits for the scrapbook and the wall hangings that I'm making. So it's like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Houses
In on
galore.
Monday and it's all gone. You know, it's like, oh, okay.
I did promise you that it wasn't just buying it, it was using it.
Any more houses? I'll have to stamp and colour them now. That's
Oh,
it.
right, okay. I might have an odd house if you need an odd house. I don't know quite.
Well, I'm doing 3 of those wall hangings. So
Yeah, I
one
liked
for
those. I was
Mum,
pleased
Sue,
with
and
those.
Rob, so they can
Yeah.
all have the same.
Yeah. No, I'm only going to do 2, so I should
Yeah.
be.
And everything. I've just got to stick the houses and stuff on now. So
Yeah. Right, so I'm just going to put some snowflakes behind there and I'm going to put some sequins in the middle. So what we need to do at this stage is just take our backing off here so that we've now got, where's that? Where's that dimensional back going? Come here. Right, so with our sequins, where are my sequins? And you've all got odd different sequins. I just went through my sort of retired collection and sent you all random sequins. So I'm going to put a little pile of sequins in there and then lay this over the top. Make sure that we've pressed it down all the way around. So it's nicely sealed. And there we have our little shaker going on. And I could stamp and die cut some snowflakes for the front there and do all sorts of things with that. And you can have shaker tags and shaker cards and all sorts of things. So that is one way of creating your shakers, is by using your strips. The other thing that we can now do that we couldn't do before is I'm going to find, where's my circles gone? Where are you, circles? Ovals, alphabets. What have I done with my circles? Why does this happen? Why is it that, you know, they're there?
You're not asking me, are you?
please don't ask us. No.
No. So I'm going to take, that's the circle that I've used for there. So I want a slightly bigger one. Now I probably am going to have a slight issue in that I am one circle die missing.
Oh,
It went walkabouts on a Explorer Craft evening.
oh gosh.
So
Out of
I
the house, I
suspect,
take them.
yeah, I suspect
bother.
some kind person probably cleared
Throw
it
it
up and
away or
put
took
it
it
in the
home.
bin for me.
Oh.
Those are about the same, aren't they? I'm going to take the one that's the same size as that, I think, and the next one up. And what I'm going to do is, as you can see, I've done this before. I'm going to take one of my whole sheets and I'm going to cut a ring of tape out of there. So you can do this depending on what size your aperture is. You can make it whatever shape you like, but you just want a frame, if you like, of the foam sheet. Right, has that cut all the way through? Yes, it has. It cuts surprisingly easy, actually. So now I've got a ring. So there's definitely going to be no gaps in this because it's one complete circle. So I'm going to take one side of the backing off. Ideally, you'd want this to be slightly bigger than the actual aperture and have the, so that it's not sitting right on the edge, but I think we'll pretty well get away with that. I think this time we'll have some, let's have some whaley paper. What shall we have? We'll have some turtles going on in the background there. Is that you wolf whistling at us, Bonnie?
Yeah, it's Pat sending me a
Excellent.
picture. He's just said CC and she's gone back to sleep.
Excellent.
Amy's been upstairs for 2 hours. Hopefully she's getting a good sleep.
Good. Right, so I'm going to add some more sequins, she says, into here. Take the back off of there. As I say, with doing it this way, you know you're not going to have any escaping holes. So as long as it's pressed down firmly, there's nowhere for it to go. So there we have 2 shakers.
2 more cards you'd had to finish now, Helen.
Yep. One using the solid sheets and one using the strips. So that's floating frames and shakers. What else did we think about? Ooh, let's have a go at. So while we've got these out, and actually I might use some of these. I've got a couple of circles here. Let's have a look at. I don't think I left myself a bit of flowery paper. Let me grab a bit. I'll grab myself a flowery bit of paper. Might go sort of wintry blue. I think you've all got different colours. So I'm going to make myself a card, half a card base this time, I think. So I'm going to cut this at 14.9 and score at 10.5 to make myself a card base. I'm going to cut this at I'm going to make it 8. And I'll trim it down to 14.9. So that's going to sit on there. And then I'm going to dig out my alphabet. What shall we say? You can have it saying whatever you like, really.
Noel.
Noel, we could have, couldn't we?
How big did you do the DSP?
I did it 8, so it's 14.9 long and 8 centimetres wide.
Thank you.
Now, these letters aren't as big as the ones we had, as the original alphabet letters we had. I'm going to decide where I want them. It's coming down there. So on a strip like this, you could get quite a long sentiment, couldn't you? To you and all the family with love this Christmas. That's a lot of letters, though.
Good luck.
Yeah, not this afternoon.
You did enough of that. We're cutting your Christmas greeting for the scrapbook page.
Yes. I was surprised how quick they came up, though. It is really nice that this this die set has got multiple letters. So I've cut my Noel out of my paper. I need to make sure that I hang on keep safe that middle of that O, because now I'm going to cut Noel from some of this sheet as well. Doesn't matter in what order. Nello will do.
Like any lot.
Yeah. Or O'Nell. Don't know a Len, so we can't have O'Len.
Is that what
Oh,
Rita was?
that's fine.
Oh, Len.
O'Len.
When you've been up to all sorts of mischief. Make some more room for my punches.
Yes.
But
So,
I bought all the
sorry, you did what?
punches. And then, of course, they dropped the scalloped ones from there, didn't they?
Yeah,
The other ones.
I do like the scalloped ones. I'm hanging on to those as well. So now we need to stick our letters to our sticky.
You just stuck them to it in the first place and then cut it
Well,
out.
yeah, but you're cutting it. The trouble is you're cutting, or what you could do is just use this, although then the pattern won't line up. You'd have to stick a bit of, you could possibly stick a strip behind there, but you'd have to then raise up the whole bit of paper. You wouldn't be able to stick it down flat because it's going to have some sticky underneath it. Yes, I was sort of thinking that. What's an easier way of doing it? But ideally you want this paper to be flat so that these are raised up. And I am in a minute going to ink the edges. You could add glitter to these or something if you wanted to make them sparkly. Not that we've got any glitter now. I suspect that's an eco thing. I don't know whether we shall eventually get some
Biodegradable stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't want to put biodegradable glitter on because you think, well, if you keep that card, it's going to look awful in a few years'
Yeah.
time.
It's going to have biodegraded.
It will have done.
We're not Noel, we're OL. Where's my L gone?
There, next to your E.
Yeah, I've got my
that one.
L. It's my foamy bit. I don't seem to.
Sorry, but
Ah, there we are.
Come on, folks.
What's he on about now?
Go.
The old classic.
Hi.
Sorry about the F in fog.
I'm
Yes.
fine, thank you. Good. Yes.
Bless him.
I know. Do you? I'll message you.
No.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. Yes.
Right, so
We
I'm
had
going to
red-
take.
We more or less said we weren't doing red well. Well, because if you're going to pay twice for each session, that's double the session. You're not getting as long as you normally get. And we said, sod that for like, apart from by the time you got there.
I'll mute Beryl for a minute and she can come back
Yes.
to us.
Yeah, we don't need to know the ins and outs of her
No, that's all right. Okay,
trip to Radwell.
right. So I'm now going to just ink up the edges of my letters. Just so that they pop out a bit.
Do you have to use a similar colour?
You can use what you like. You could do some, you could make it a complete contrast. You could use something like a grey or a brown if you wanted to sort of distressed sort of look. Depends on the colours in your paper as well. Right. So I'm going to stick this on flat. And obviously you could be all sorts of die cuts if you wanted to raise them up. You can die cut them with this sheet. If it was like a single flower or something, I definitely would sort of stamp it on a bit of card and then stick that to the sheet and then die cut it if you were doing something like that. But with the letters, because you want them to go in flush, you want them to stand out, you want the paper to be
Matching.
yeah, low and your letters to be stuck up. You want stuck up letters.
How rude.
I know. Now the little O, the middle of the O, we need to stick back in.
I don't think people have any idea of what lengths we go to produce a nice card.
No,
Nope.
not at all.
They'd probably be shocked if they were there to have a look and see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lost me L again.
Something we could say to that, but we won't.
We could.
Going to be polite.
There we are. We have a little.
Lovely.
Well, that's
Very
very
pretty.
wonky. Incredibly wonky.
Well,
So
that doesn't matter.
I'll perhaps put a
another card.
or I'll put a bit of a strip of card top and bottom or something.
Yeah,
Put a bit of a
there's ways
border on it.
around it.
Yeah,
No
a
such
bit of
thing as a
ribbon.
mistake.
No, just opportunities for creativity.
Embellishment. Yes.
The peony die has got a really useful little border, little scallopy border in that I could add into there.
Oh, has it, Helen?
It has.
Yes.
Why do I know that?
A little pop open bag.
Oh dear. Yes. So yeah, there we go. So there's little sticky up letters. But as I say, that doesn't have to be letters. That could be all sorts of things. That could be flowers, butterflies.
Mm.
But the idea that you've cut it out of a piece of paper is sort of quite nice because it does give it that sort of, is it there, isn't it, 3D sort of a look to it.
Very pretty.
Yeah, so that's that one. Oh, I know what I was going to grab and didn't, so let me grab that now.
Well, I remember red and green dots.
How many do you want?
I've got hundreds of them, thousands in fact, so you're fine.
Oh, right. No, I was thinking of for the card that we're the warm and toasty card. Are you doing more than just the one that Helen supplied?
Is that the one that's got the big trees that I die
Yeah.
cut? Yeah, I've done 4 extra for you.
Right.
So if you do similar, if you've got the card to cut it.
Yeah, I have. So you want baubles to cover 2 trees?
Whatever it is that we're doing, I haven't even looked at it yet.
Well, it needs a base and the top bit. I assume that's just 2 extra, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about warm and toasty. Sorry, Helen.
Yeah, no,
Well,
that's
well,
absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine.
Okay, so enough baubles for 2 more cards. I'll do that for you.
Yeah, thank you, darling. I'll put your dots in there.
Oh, thank you.
With your trees.
I shall
the
have to get
cheapest-
some from Amazon.
Well, no, the cheapest way. I bought loads. I bought them on eBay, and it
Oh,
was
right.
like 2,000 dots at a time or something like that. And I thought, oh, how's taste? Well, you're helping me out. I've got a bit of space in the box now.
Okay, I'll get some yellow ones then.
Yeah, that's the only ones I haven't got many of because I just bought
Well,
a pack of diamonds.
Well, I can give you some of those.
Or
some
Aldi
more,
or not Aldi, Lidl or no, not even Lidl. Oh, forget it. Whatever, a shop.
Yeah,
a shop.
A shop.
It's obviously catching this afternoon.
It is.
Oh, look, there's that bit of green paper I was looking for earlier. Hey ho. Right.
You're very
So-
quiet, Carol.
Hmm?
Are you concentrating?
So-
You're very quiet and silent,
Yeah, I
Sally.
just made that one a shake card.
Very pretty.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's lovely.
Oh, nice one.
Oh,
But I
Just
had a-
showing off your dragonflies again.
yeah,
I had a-
dragonflies are lovely.
Yeah, I had a few problems. I sort of mucked up a few, but they get hidden, the mistakes, don't they?
Absolutely.
And it's always a way of doing that.
And you know, this is really about, and this will be she is recording. Yes, it is recording. So I'll send you this out as well. So you'll get the sort of, you know, that you'll be able to go back and go, what did we do with that? What was the
Yeah.
idea behind that?
Oh, that's
Oh,
lovely.
very pretty.
Oh,
Sally.
lovely. Yeah, the
Noel.
big Noel. And actually,
Yeah, we did.
that was the Noel was how it was going because I couldn't kept losing my L.
Did
Sorry,
we do it?
Carol.
We did them with the joy, didn't we?
With the what? Sorry,
And we with joy we stamped.
we did.
Then
Yeah, it was
then took the letters
letters
out,
out. Yeah,
and then built them up after.
yeah, we did, and that was it was sort of like a holly sort of stamp, wasn't it? It was really
Yeah.
pretty, that stamp set. Yeah,
Mm.
we did. So yeah, that's really nice as well to do a stamped image and then to die cut afterwards. Yeah. Okay, so I have got here the classic label punch. Now this is something that you can do again with you can use these punches, you can use dies, you can just use your trimmer. There's various ways of doing this, but we're going to create a slit in a piece of card. So let me take the other half of my thick whisper white, so that will give us one more card base. And we'll have a think about cards that, you know, have got bits that move and do things. So I'm going to take a bit more whisper white. I'm going to cut this at, actually I'm going to cut it at 13.9 by 9.5. Then if I want to put something behind it, I can do to make it pop a bit. So we'll have something on this card that's going to move sort of backwards and forwards. So what I've dug out, the punch that I dug out for this, and again, this could be punches, it could be dies, it could be anything, but I've dug out the baubles just because it's nearly Christmas and that's a really lovely stamp and punch set. Let me grab the papers that go with that.
Is it just a rectangle or has it got shaped ends?
So this one has got shaped ends, but it doesn't matter if you've got just like a rectangle. But as I say, you can also just do it with your trimmer. So if I was going to do it with the punch, I can just decide where I want it to be. Let's have a look. It'll depend what bauble I'm going with. Let's have that one. And I'm going to probably punch it twice. So I'll punch it there, move it along, and punch it a second time. And that has instantly given me quite a nice little slit in the front of that piece of card just there. Because what I'd have done if I was sensible would have been to put the paper on first, but we can work around that. If I wanted to do it with my trimmer, as long as you've got a trimmer that's like this, that you can start and finish wherever you like, you can just decide where you want your slit to start, where you want it to finish, move it along however wide you want it to be. Bring it back. I didn't take very much notice of where that was, and then just take your scissors and snip across so you can create.
That sounds nice for minutes, like me. You start, hang on, how far did I go with that one?
Yeah, where did
I
that
don't
go?
know.
So we've created a slit in there, you know, nearly as simply, but just the punch just takes that one sort of extra stage out of it, really. But yes, so we've got a bit of a slit in the front of our piece of card. I was actually going to cover this with some paper first. So let's do that. I'll take it down a bit and make it so that it's a mat. So 13.4 by 9. Oh, I do quite like that. I do like a stripe. Let's stick that on there. And then if I turn that round, I'm going to be able to line that up anyway and punch it again. There we go. So we've got a bit of card now with our nice little slit in there. Let's do ourselves a bauble. I think what I'm going to do, just to be sort of a bit cheaty, doesn't really matter what colour card I have. That'll do. What colour bauble shall we have? Might shout a little bit. Let's go with that one. Stick a bit of paper to a bit of card just to give it a bit of body. And then punch myself a bauble. Like that. And then we'll want a puller-alonger type mechanism. Oh, a bit of card like that will probably do just the trick. Let's shape the end of it. Like that. So what we could do is get a, let's get something like the itty bitty Christmas greetings. And something that's going to fit in that hole nicely. I think that will do.
You're right, Poppet.
come about there.
Mm. My Stampin' Up order came while you were asleep.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Oh, good, good.
I said, John, you going? And there was no answer.
And you thought, that's a no then.
That's a no then.
You know then. Oh well, I guess I'm getting up.
Right, so we've got our little pulley just there that's going to pull backwards and forwards, but we need something that it's going to some tracks for it to run along. So what we're going to do is make sure that that's lined up where we want it, so that our bit is sticking out the end a little bit and our greeting is peeping through the hole. And then we'll create it some tracks.
Oh, it looks like Beryl's back.
Are you back with us, Beryl? I don't know whether you'll perhaps have to unmute yourself. I don't think I can unmute you. I can only ask you to unmute. I can't actually unmute you. So we'll bring that round the end there. And then we'll want just a little bit more. And then I'm just going to put a bit more. I'll take this other strip and just put some more top and bottom, just so that it's the same height, because these strips are a bit deeper than the normal dimensionals. So
You having trouble, Beryl?
Can you not find us? Bottom, it should have a little button on the bottom left that should say, like a little microphone that tells you to unmute. Can you find it?
There might be, on my iPad, it's at the top.
Oh, is it at the top? Oh, she's on an
Yeah.
iPad. So at the top, Beryl, because I'm
Yeah.
on my laptop.
Yeah, just touch the top and it'll come up.
There we are. That's
There
it.
you are.
That's it.
Yeah,
Welcome
found us.
back.
Yeah. That's it. So we've created some little tracks for our bit just there, so that when we stick that down, now what we could have done is put one on the end, stop it, put something on the end to stop it sliding out altogether, but we should be okay. Somebody would have to be very enthusiastic to completely ping it out, wouldn't they? So we've got our little celebrate the season that's going to move backwards and forwards, and we can put a bit of a hole in that and some ribbon to pull on or something. And then we've got our little bauble just here. So what we're going to do with that is find some mini dimensionals. And I'm going to pile one on top of another. I'm going to have two of these to make it so that it's sitting above the level of the card. I've actually managed to pick three up. Let's put one back. So we'll stick our bauble on there like that. So now we've got a little bauble that will slide backwards and forwards. We could put some little bows and things on that.
Very pretty.
But obviously you can do that if you've got something like a car or a boat. That's really good. Somebody on a skateboard, a pram. You could have all sorts of things that are going to move backwards and forwards. And we could have been, you know, put even a separate greeting under there as well. So this could say one thing and you could have it saying something else under there. But yeah, so that's just using your again using your strips. You can also do penny sliders, so really similar sort of idea. With this one, if we wanted to make this spin, so with a penny slider, that would spin up and down in there. So what we'd have needed to do for that, for a penny slider, would be to have made sure that our gap underneath was wider, was wide enough for a penny to fit in there. Now you can use washers, but the chances are washers cost more than a penny anyway. So just slip your penny in there. I don't even know whether, I think I emptied all my change into the Children's Society box before it went off. But literally pop a penny underneath that gap, and then again build it up with dimensionals, put that on, and then as you rock that backwards and forwards, the penny will roll up and down in that groove, and that will give you a penny slider. You could have cut yourself, we cut that ring of foam, cut yourself a ring out of the front of your card. Again, build your foam tape around the outside of it, and in the middle
going around a wreath.
you can have a robin going around a wreath. You can have a penny slider that goes round and round and round. You could have it going from one end to the other. So if you've got the stamp set with the skiing bunnies on it, you could have them at the top of the hill, and you could cut yourself like a train track coming down, and you could have your bunnies skiing down the side of a mountain, or rolling down the side of a mountain. But yeah, so
use the curvy die from the home
yes,
set, couldn't you?
yes, you could
Well,
do
without
two
trees.
tracks. Yeah, do two tracks. Yeah, you could. So lots of ways that you can use your foam strips. And you could do this as well. You could do this with ordinary dimensionals as well. You could just put a sort of whole line full of dimensionals next to each other. So yeah, a whole way of using them to create cards that move. And there, I mean, we could go on really with cards that move. So say magic sliders, although I think the last time we did a magic slider, we didn't use foam tape, did we? And I can't remember how we did it, but it worked really well. We'll perhaps have to do another magic slider. But yeah, but you can use foam tape for magic slider cards as well. So lots and lots of different ways that you can use your foam tape. Can anybody think, I mean, things like you can, as I said to the black one, you can add glitter. So you can, because they're a sticky surface, you can sort of put them on things and add glitter to the top. So make them glitter dots. There's no reason why you can't do that. Get this dry throat now. But so many uses for your foam tapes and things. They are so useful. And I think I've only just really started scratching the surface with the big sheets, because I've not played with mine very much, really, not as much as I should do, apart from making shaker cards, because I think that, yeah, that's a bit of a game changer because there is no gaps in it. But obviously the circles that are left in the middle, then you could either use those as toppers or to cut your little letters out of. And even the one that I've cut the letters out of, actually, there's no reason why you don't need to waste anything. So with that one, I can get another letter out of there. But with what's left, I can either cut it up and use it as little individual bits of tape, or I could cut a circle and go on the top of that, and it would sort of raise up a complete circle, even though in itself it is no longer a complete circle. So don't look at any of these bits and think, oh well, I've cut those letters out of that, now I need to throw it away.
Use them like the outside of the dimensionals.
Absolutely. Use exactly the same as you would the bits on the end.
Are they the same depth as the dimensionals?
I think they are. Those are, yes, those are the same depth.
They are. Yeah. It's only the foam.
It's the foam strips that
Yeah.
are just that bit wider. Yeah.
I think the foam strips look like they're 3 centimetres and the others look
3
like
millimetres.
2.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. Centimetres would be very deep, wouldn't
That
it?
would be deep, wouldn't it?
Imagine doing a pop-up card with 3 centimetres. Oh my God. Let's not. Poor post would have a heart attack.
Yes. Yeah, that would definitely be large letter. I don't think you'd get away with that standard
Might
post.
even be packaged,
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So So have you got anything that you wanted to ask me about these foam things while we're on the subject and while we're thinking about it?
I don't think so. I haven't.
Any sort of have you ever's or?
No. No, you pretty much covered it as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Hmm.
And with a lot of it, as with all these things, it's about reminding you what you've forgotten, you know.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and looking at sort of, you know, with new products coming out, how does that make life easier? Why would I want that when I can already do it with this? Does that make my life easier? So yeah, and I think with these little sheets, they are quite useful in terms of certainly shaker cards. Yeah, and to say with the letters, sort of building those sorts of things up, they yeah, they definitely have good use, I think, with those things. So what have we done? We've done things that move. So we've done a pulley slider, but we, you know, equally just put a penny under there and you'd have a swirly twirly penny slider. So do have a play with those if you've never played with penny sliders before, because they're always good fun. We've had our floating frames, we've had shaker cards, we've had letters that are raised up. So I think we've thought about quite a lot this afternoon, haven't we?
I think we have.
Yeah.
I think we've tested our grey cell to the limit.
Do you think we have?
Yeah, what few grey cells I've got left, yeah.
What are left, yeah.
Yeah, have been well tested. Good. Good. Well, that's the main thing. And apart from anything else, it's lovely to see everybody's face.
Yes.
Absolutely. I'm gonna unspotlight just so that I can see everybody's face again for a minute.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know about that.
No.
Well, I would if
Bonnie,
I could
can
find
we
the
meet
little-
up tomorrow?
In the morning.
Yeah.
You're not playing bridge. She's still not back.
No. Well, she's back, but I think she's still a bit poorly.
Yeah. Okay. Where would you like to meet? The same as last time.
If that's all right with you.
Oh yeah. Yeah. What time? She says all ears.
Well, I'll probably watch Helen's live. So after that, I don't know, 10:30, 11.
Fine.
What?
Just text me, let me know, and I'll be there.
Okay. Okay.
I've got to drop some bits off to Anita on the way as well, so that's fine. That'll be two drops in the
Okay.
same direction.
All right.
Excellent.
Oh, hello.
That's better. I've managed to
Becky.
unspotlight. Couldn't even see that. I'm thinking, where's my unspotlight button gone? Yeah. Are you right, Sally? Are you
What you
busy
doing,
there? What are you
Sally?
creating?
Well,
Working hard.
I don't think I've made anything that you just suggested.
That's absolutely fine. That's good. That makes me know that all is well with Sally.
No, it's not good. Everything's a little bit wonky and a little bit not where it should have been, but the ideas are there, so that's fine.
Yeah.
And that's it. You know, it's sort of with this sort of thing, you're never really going to. It's never easy to.
Now your sample cards, your reminder cards, aren't they?
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
a have a bit of an idea, and now I know what I'm going to do different next time and what I'm going
Yeah,
to work on.
definitely.
Yeah, it is about sort of the this is just the how to, not necessarily the finished product. Yeah. So you can see things. You
Definitely.
can now go onto Pinterest and Google all these, you know, pin all these things and go, right, now I've got some idea of where I'm going with it and what I'm going to use. Yeah.
Yes, some lovely ideas. Thank you, Helen.
Yes,
You're
thank you, Helen.
very welcome. As I say, the
Lovely.
tag one, I don't know whether it'll be ready in the morning. That might be a step too
Quite a bit,
far.
that's fine.
That's fine.
Just give
I've
us
got,
another excuse to meet up. That's fine.
Yes.
we've got lots of warm and toasties to be getting on
Yeah.
with.
Yes.
And I'll keep your snowflakes coming.
Yeah, lovely.
Okay, thank
I
you.
haven't started
sorry.
those yet. 'Cause I've
Sorry,
determined to finish
yesterday's
the other
video
ones first.
was so late coming on. I'd got it uploading to YouTube, went off and made the dinner and, you know, did all sorts of things. And I was just about to go to bed.
Nearly
And I
finished.
thought, I didn't
Nearly
share that video.
I have noticed that there was one today. Actually,
Hello,
I'll have a
whoever
look.
that was behind Beryl.
My husband.
That's
Hello.
right.
Hello,
Hello,
Mr. Hello, Mr. Beryl. Did you go to Div's class yesterday, Beryl?
Yes, I did.
What
Good.
was it?
I'm catching up with
We're
her in a bit.
We're with you again tonight, aren't we?
We are. So yeah, so if anybody wants to come and join us for the pumpkin Joy to the World pumpkin thing, it's just to come and play along, really. A bit like we did last time. It's a free one.
When's
It's
the
just
blog thing? Is that tonight?
When's
the blog?
Sorry,
blog
Carol.
thing.
The blog thing. That's
How to do
next
a blog.
Tuesday.
Tuesday
How-
evening,
Next Tuesday.
Oh, next Tuesday.
7
Yeah.
Oh, I
o'clock.
thought it was tonight.
No, next Tuesday that one is.
No. So
Yeah, no, it's Joy to
Will
the
you
World
remind
pumpkin,
me?
paper pumpkins tonight.
Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Yeah,
Remember
I'll
rightly?
remind you. Yeah,
Oh yeah, please do. Make sure we do.
yeah,
7.
That should be
yes,
interesting.
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Catherine's joining us from the
Yeah.
the
I've
US
got my
of A.
mammograms.
Yeah.
I've got my mammogram that day, so
Oh,
I'll be thinking about that.
well, we'll take your mind off it.
Yeah.
Catherine, I think we've got Catherine and we've got Joanne. They can both talk, so all will be
Oh,
well.
that's all right then. We can just sit and listen. That's fine.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so all good fun. So yes, so
Enjoy.
yeah, come back and
Yeah.
join us again if you want to
Mhm.
for this evening. For I will put that. I'll put that link up on the main group, I think, so that anybody that wants to come and join us can come and join us for that. Even if you haven't got the kit, if you just want to bring a cup of tea and come, you're more than welcome. Yes, and then it'll be kits next week, and I think the next Zoomy thing, I'll probably put a come and craft along in the Me Crafty Ducks group.
Oh right, yeah.
For next week or the week after, and then it'll be games night.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
What's the
Yeah.
last week ordering on that?
Games night. That would be December.
Be December. That one is not. I know that's not too bad. I was just thinking today. I'm going to order the. I need to get the orders for the prizes in. But it's just cutting the kits really, and I tend to cut an extra kit for that. So do you think there's somebody else that might like to come?
I'm trying to talk somebody into it, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, excellent. No, just let me know, because it will only be cutting the extra kit, and I'll probably cut an extra one anyway.
Mm.
I'm starting to gather a few bits and pieces for that. So yeah,
Heather doing that one. She enjoyed it last time, didn't she?
I don't know. I'll message people out. I keep reminding.
I
And
met her as well, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Nate's doing it. I know. So.
Yeah, Neat's
Yeah.
doing it. Deb's
Hopefully
is doing
we're out
it.
of lockdown by then.
Yeah, we
But
might just be,
hopefully.
mightn't we?
We'll
Yeah,
be around at Nate's house if we are.
Just,
yeah,
Just-
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and if not, well then we'll cheer ourselves up.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not. Don't come expecting to take yourself seriously on that one.
Definitely not.
no.
That's the whole.
Oh, but
And I did
always
see
seriously.
No, I know. And I did see yesterday, Sally, that somebody is doing an online bunco. Now we never did get around to playing bunco,
Oh,
but I did see that a demonstrator was doing an online one. I might message her and say, here in the UK, we have no idea what bunco is.
What
and
is? Yeah, what is it?
And we were going to have a go at playing it. So how do you do it online? We don't even know how you do it in person. How do you do it? I'd never heard of it before, but in the
No.
States, like we do the bingo nights, they have these bunco nights, and I
Sounds
think
a bit rude.
it's something like, it's something to do with dice and what numbers you roll. So it's sort of played a bit like you play a beetle drive. You know how you sort of move round and then swap partners so that nobody.
Never done one.
Have you never done a beetle drive?
No,
You know, you're about the third person I've met that's never done a beetle drive. Obviously, once we're out of lockdown, we need to get some of these things sorted, because
definitely.
beetle
Yeah.
drives are hysterical.
Oh, right, that's all right then.
Helen, could we join this lady in America? Can we
I
join
don't
her?
know. I don't know whether we could join her. I'll have to have a look, because I don't know how she's doing it. Because obviously, if she's sending out kits and things, you know,
No,
you
but-
couldn't. But it would be. It's almost like, you know, what do we do? How do we play it? You know.
Mm.
Yeah. Or
Why
perhaps I
don't
should
I-
get
I don't
somebody,
know.
an American demo, to come and host it for us or something, just to But yeah, I don't even quite know how you play it. I did download.
Have you
the rules
Googled
and
it?
things. Yeah, I've Googled it, and I've even downloaded the rules and things, because I was thinking, well, we'll have a go at that instead of a bingo one session. We'll give this a go. But then, of course, this year it's all. I think that was the plan at the beginning of the year.
William's gone.
And,
What's it up this
it
year?
all
So
went,
I
yeah, a
think we
bit.
need to know
yeah.
the whole premise of the game before
Yeah,
we
yeah, yeah. But it is. I know that it's played like you would a beetle drive, in that you move round tables and swap partners, so that at the end of the night you're going to get one person that's going to have more than anybody else. Because if you stick with partners, you're always going to have the same. And it's
Yeah.
something about rolling numbers. You know, rolling a 6 and
Okay.
rolling 5s, and yeah, I'm not really quite sure. So it sounds a bit like a mixture between a beetle drive and Yahtzee, but I may be completely
Yeah.
wrong on that.
okay.
Oh well, we look
Different.
forward to it, Helen.
I just kept saying, all these people saying, no, I've had a really good bunco night. And I'm thinking, what the heck is that?
It just
Never
sounds
even,
rude, don't it?
yeah, never even heard of it. But yeah, there you go. But we are going to be playing Beetle. We're going to be playing Beetle, and we're going to be playing bingo and quiz and all sorts of things. So
Well, on the
on the
crackers
games
night.
night, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Excellent.
So I am gathering equipment ready to send out to you.
Good.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Okay, darling.
Thank you very much. For
Yeah,
coming.
you're very welcome. Take
Hello.
care,
Okay,
everybody. And
Yeah.
Everybody.
yeah,
Bye.
see you soon.
Bye.
See you later,
Bye.
Helen.
Bye, Beryl.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.